Once you've unboxed your MakerBot Replicator 2X experimental 3D printer, you're ready to make something. If you haven't seen the unboxing video yet, make sure you click here and do so now. In this video, I'll take you through the startup process, where you'll learn how to level your build platform and load your MakerBot ABS filament. The process should take between 5 and 10 minutes, and by the end, you'll be making things. The first time you turn on your MakerBot Replicator 2X, you should be greeted by this message on the LCD panel. If you don't see something like that, don't worry. Just go to Utilities on the main menu and select Run Startup Script. Use the up and down keys to move the cursor and push the M to select. The left button often allows you to go back or cancel an action, and a blinking M means your MakerBot Replicator 2X is waiting for you to do something. The buttons are pretty responsive, so push gently. After giving you some basic information, your MakerBot Replicator 2X will lead you through leveling your build platform. During the leveling process, your MakerBot Replicator 2X will move its extruder nozzles to a variety of positions on the build plate. Your job is to adjust the distance between the build plate and the nozzles for optimum makeability. You want that distance to be about the same thickness as this MakerBot support card that comes in your accessory pack. At each position, you will be asked to slide the paper between the nozzles and the build plate and to adjust the corresponding leveling knob below the build platform. If your plate is too far away from your extruders, you'll need to loosen the knob by turning it this way. If your plate is too close to the extruders, you'll need to tighten the knob by turning it this way. Slide the paper through until you feel some friction, but so you can still move the paper back and forth freely. You will be asked to do this at the back of your build plate, then on the right side, then on the left, and then one more time to refine it a little more at the back, over the right corner, and over the left corner. And finally, you'll have a chance to confirm your adjustments with the nozzles at the center of the platform. Taking the time to correctly level your build platform is incredibly important. If you adjust your platform so that it's too far away from your extruders, the things you're making won't be able to stick to the surface of your build plate, which means they probably won't turn out right and they could knock themselves completely off the platform. And if you adjust your platform so that it's too close to your extruders, you run the risk of blocking your nozzles or scratching your build platform. If you're having trouble, or if you just need to level your platform again, you can always repeat the process by going to Utilities in the main menu and selecting the Level Build Platform option. After you're done leveling your build platform, your MakerBot Replicator 2X will prompt you to begin loading your MakerBot ABS filament. The extruders on your MakerBot Replicator 2X will be heating during this process, so be careful not to touch them. Remove the enclosure lid and disconnect the 2 filament guide tubes from each of the extruders. Now turn your attention to the filament spooled on the back of the machine. Free the end of each spool filament and cut a clean edge with a pair of scissors. Feed the filament into the back end of the filament guide tubes until you see it come out at the other end. Make sure that the filament loads up from the center and that the filament on the left side goes to the left extruder and the filament on the right side goes to the right extruder. After you've fed it through, press the M to continue. Once the extruders have reached the correct temperature, your MakerBot Replicator 2X will ask you to load MakerBot ABS filament into the right extruder. Click through the message until your MakerBot Replicator 2X asks you to press the M when you see plastic extruding. Take the end of the filament from the right guide tube and press it into the hole at the top of the right extruder. You'll have to use some force and maintain pressure on the filament until you feel the motor pulling it in. You can then let go and watch for a noodle of ABS to push its way out of the right nozzle. Let the noodle get a few inches long, then press the M to stop filament from going through and push the guide tube back into place. Don't be too surprised if you see a different color than you expected. There's probably still a bit of filament in the nozzle from our testing process. After the right extruder has been loaded, the LCD panel will prompt you to load filament into the left extruder. Click through the message until your MakerBot Replicator 2X asks you to press the M when you see plastic extruding, and then follow the same process with the left extruder, pushing it through until you see the noodle of ABS, and then stopping the extrusion by pressing M. When you're done extruding, wait a few minutes for both extruders to cool, and then pull away the noodles of extruded filament. If you don't get filament loading right the first time, you can always repeat the process by going to Utilities on the main menu, selecting Change Filament, and then choosing Load Left or Load Right. This is also the menu where you'll be able to unload your filament when you're ready to try out a new color of MakerBot ABS filament. Keep in mind that your MakerBot Replicator 2X has been optimized for MakerBot ABS filament. If you ever want to try MakerBot PLA filament, you'll have to cover the surface of your build plate with wide strips of blue painter's tape and select the PLA setting when you're preparing your model in MakerBot Makerware. Now your MakerBot Replicator 2X will ask you if you're ready to make something. If you've successfully leveled your build platform and loaded filament into both extruders, answer yes. As long as the SD card is properly loaded into the slot behind your LCD panel, your MakerBot Replicator 2X will immediately display the Build from SD menu. Select one of the test prints that we've preloaded onto the card and watch your MakerBot Replicator 2X work its magic. When the print is complete, wait a few minutes for the build plate to cool, and then open up your MakerBot Replicator 2X and remove the print with your fingers or a small spatula. If an object is tough to remove, it actually means that you had good adhesion during the printing process, which is an important factor in any successful print. Now take a look at the bottom of your thing. The bottom surface should be completely smooth all the way across. If it looks uneven, your platform is probably higher on one side than the other. If it looks stringy, like this, your platform is probably too far away from the extruder. Try the leveling process one more time, and if you're still having trouble, be sure to contact our expert support team by emailing support@makerbot.com. They're available Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. When you're ready to make more things, be sure to watch our Makerware Basic tutorial or the Makerware Dual Extrusion tutorial.